What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another SLA video. Alright guys, for this one here, we're going to talk about the best weapon combinations you can have for Jinnu. Alright, specifically because a lot of people are asking, hey Payne, what's a good weapon to pair with this and what's a good weapon to pair with that? So I'm going to give you guys the full list of top tier weapons that you can pair with other weapons to make them and maximize their damage / effects in the game. So first off, before we go any further, I do want to talk about some universal weapons. Now these universal weapons, I call them universal because they can be paired pretty much with anything. So let's go over those real quick while we can. So I'm going to go jump into the game here. So the first universal weapon in this game is going to be the scythe. The moment you get an A1 copy of the scythe, you instantly get a universal weapon. So the moment you hit 70% with HP or below, this increases the user's critical hit rate by 25% for the entire duration of the fight. So this weapon, because of that alone, can pretty much be paired with any other weapon in the game. Okay, so the scythe is considered a universal weapon, so feel free to use it with anything out there. Plum sword works the exact same way. After successfully performing a dash, you get full bloom. Whenever the full bloom is in effect, up to 3 times the stacks with A0 increases the critical hit damage by 12%, stacking up to 3 times, obviously. And as you get further and further into this, you can stack it even further, up to 5 times as a matter of fact. So this is also considered a universal weapon and can be paired pretty much with any weapon out there. I don't know if you guys noticed, there's a theme here. All the dark weapons have that ability. And lastly, not quite as universal, but still gives you a lot of utility with any other weapon out there. This does increase the damage taken by 10% to all opponents with the Lunar Eclipse buff, and also slows down time for you for 3 seconds, which is incredibly powerful. So the daggers, also being a dark weapon, is considered a universal weapon out there. Now, there's one more on this list that I consider universal, and that is going to be the Grimoire, which can be pretty much set with anything. And that A0, the moment the effect of freeze ends, the opponent takes 10% of the damage for that whole duration of 4 seconds on top of what you already do to them. And if you get A1, you also apply deep erosion, which does elemental weakness damage by 24%. So these 4 weapons here I consider to be universal and can be paired with each other or others of their kind. Now, a lot of people ask me, Payne, what's better, the scythe and the plum together, or the dagger and the scythe, or the dagger and the plum? The answer really comes down to it's up to your gameplay. The plum is a more advanced weapon. It is harder to do full bloom. It does take a lot more skill. So a lot of people will prefer the dagger and the scythe together, while the more advanced players may prefer the dagger and the plum sword, or the dagger, the scythe and the plum. So all 3 of them working together is incredible. The Grimoire is pretty much universal for any weapon out there. All right, so those 4 weapons, I'll call them universal, and they can be paired with each other or any other weapon in the game, and they will automatically advance those by tenfold. Okay, now let's talk about Westwind, because it is still one of the strongest weapons in the game. One of the most prominent things about this weapon is the fact that if you get it to A5 and you perform a crit, it actually reduces the cooldown of the entire move by 9 seconds, or is it 10 seconds, only giving you a 2-second cooldown. Now there is a 10-second cooldown on this as well too, so keep that in mind. But the more crits you do with this weapon, the bigger the numbers obviously will look, and this is still one of the hardest hitting weapons in the game. Now, to have crit activate more often, the scythe obviously at 70% is a great one, but there's an even better solution than that, and that is Baruka's dagger. If you guys can get Baruka's dagger up to nimbleness, which is going to give you right over here, the A5 version, it increases the critical hit rate of surprise attack by 40% and also applies nimbleness and surprise effect right away, giving you a 100% crit rate. And if you guys haven't checked out the video for this, you guys can see it. It's in one of my channel. It's on my channel. It's called hold on, let me go to it real quick. Right here, SR, I think it's called SR pairings. Let me just check something real quick. There it is, right there. These 2 SR weapons are crazy insane, okay? 100% crit rate. So I actually show you guys the testing I did, and it's literally 100% crit rate the entire time on the dragon fight. Yes, even though it's not a back attack, anything you do on the dragon fight is considered a back attack, okay? So these 2 weapons go hand in hand so well, especially at the A5 level. You can also even use it even like at the A2, A3 level as well too, to still do more wind damage with your Westwind. So those 2 combinations are fantastic. Now, another really 2 good combinations here for fire weapons is Orb of Avarice as well as the Grimoire. Now, the beauty of the Orb of Avarice is that it vacuums everyone together into one little neat pile, blows them up, and then the Grimoire actually does a big burst in the same section. Now, the beauty with the Grimoire is when you have everybody put together, if you do hit everybody in the same spot and you have lower than 50% HP, you actually recover 5% of HP for every target that's been hit. So these two are fantastic together, okay? Grimoire and Vulcan's Rage is another really huge one as well too. Grimoire freezing, Vulcan Rage doing explosions at the same time, providing you a shield and also doing concentration. These two combinations are very deadly together, as well as this and Orb of Avarice. Vulcan's Rage and Orb of Avarice are the two best fire weapons put together. So do not sleep on these two combinations. They're fantastic together, okay? So very good combo there. Also, Vulcan's Rage and the Demon King Longsword, if you're looking to keep your shield up almost at all times, both of these provide you a shield. This one does a counter, which is great, also does AoE. This also does an AoE and provides you a shield. So both of these together are the ultimate survival weapons plus AoE damage dealing weapons with single target capabilities. So these two are great together as well, okay? Another really good combination for light weapons is going to be the Reduro family longbow, especially when you get the stun effect at A3, and then the Huntsman. If the Huntsman has a short range but can also break, and the Reduro bow can do insane amounts of damage and keep targets still for you, especially if there's multiple targets in one spot. Doing your effect right here will stun all of them, and then with the Huntsman you can just jump in, do your core attack or your base skill and shoot everybody down at small range. Another really good one here is with the Grimoire as well too, because the Huntsman hits such a wide range of damage and does break. The Grimoire can keep everybody in solid place while the Huntsman does insane damage. Okay, so this is a really good combination as well. So these two here for light weapons, the Grimoire and this. So keep in mind, all of these here will work with any weapons I just mentioned, okay? That's the main thing to note. For SR weapons as well too, there are two really good daggers. If you like using the Night Killer, which I highly recommend to do if you are a free-to-play player, and the Kasaka Blades, that's a very good combo as well. The beauty of the Kasaka Blades is that they actually go towards the enemy with their skill. They cause a poison at A5 and you can actually get it there. They also do a Paralyze, which interrupts the skill, and they also do a Bleed. In that same time, you can do Decay here with this move when you land it. So when you land with the Kasaka Blades, instantly switch over to Night Killer and you can right away do the telekinesis and decay effect. So what the decay does is when the final hit of telekinesis lands, explodes after 1 second, dealing equal to 40% of the attack per instance, and it stacks up to 10 times. So those two together are great. These are two of the best combinations for the Lycan battle, right? A lot of people always ask what are two good weapons. Those two daggers are perfect. They're literally meant for that stage. So you can use these and also have a little bit more survivability as you get this one further up into the advancement stages, right? The Night Killer. So the Kasaka Blades is free to play because you get a lot of them through the actual challenge mode, and Night Killer is an SR weapon that you'll probably get quite a few drop of, hopefully, in your adventures, right? So those are some of the best combinations in the game, guys. Again, these four weapons, please use them with anything. As long as you understand that this is a little more advanced in terms of skill, this is very easy in skill, this is very easy in skill, and this was very easy in skill. The only one here that does require a little bit of advanced combat abilities is the Plum Sword. Also to note, real quick, we're finding out that the amplifying drop for some reason does not work. For some, we don't know why, because every time we combine it to do a critical hit with anything else, the critical hit doesn't seem to amplify anything. So I don't know if that's a bug or maybe we're just doing it wrong, but we're finding some issues with the Plum Sword. So hopefully they can look into it and kind of let us know if there is an actual bug or not. But those are some of the best combinations in the game, guys. If you have any that you like yourself, let me know in the comment section. A good replacement for the Grimoire, by the way, is this SR Frost Sword, which does a very similar effect with erosion right here, but it does a 12% elemental weakness increase, and the freeze only does the actual freeze itself and not add more damage to the end of it all. It is definitely inferior, but it is a pretty good option if you don't have the Grimoire and you want some form of CC. That's a good option as well. If you want more range options, the Demon Knight Spear is fantastic for that, for light weapon with the Reduro bow. So if you're looking for something that is just strictly distance, stunning here, bouncing back, and then using the spear afterwards to do damage is a great combination too. So feel free to use that one as well too if you are looking for more SR weapons to tack onto the list. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.